The quantum secret that rejuvenates your cells without medicine. The eternal body code. Introduction. In the silence between heartbeats, in the stillness behind your breath, something ancient remembers you. Long before you wore this name, before your cells knew gravity, you existed as a spark within the great geometric womb of creation. You have not arrived at this audiobook by accident. You were summoned, called back by a frequency your soul never forgot. A code, eternal and hidden in plain sight, vibrating within the spiral of your DNA. There is a secret the ancients guarded with breath and symbol, a knowledge buried beneath layers of modern noise. It is the truth that your body was never designed to decay as it does now. That rejuvenation is not a miracle, it is your blueprint. Medicine has its place. But what if I told you the real healer is already inside you, awaiting your signal? Not a cure, but a remembrance. Each cell in your body is a prayer answered, a living temple of vibration, constantly listening, responding, adapting. Your organs don't just function, they speak, they sing, they harmonize with thought, belief, breath, light. The skin you wear is stardust wrapped in memory. And somewhere inside that memory, encoded in rhythm and light, is the quantum key to your renewal. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not bound to your biology. The world may have told you that aging is inevitable, that vitality fades, that disease is random. But what if all of that is merely suggestion, programmed into your subconscious by repetition? And what if you could overwrite it? What if, by aligning with the sacred patterns of life itself, you could unlock the instructions your cells have long awaited? This audiobook is not just information, it is activation. Each chapter is a vibrational invitation to remember the field that birthed you. To unhook from timelines of fatigue, depletion, and decay, and to step into coherence, into clarity, into the radiant pulse of your eternal body code. You will not be asked to believe. You will be asked to feel, to breathe, to try, to become. So I ask you now, beloved listener, are you willing to return to the origin, to the pattern, to the breath that breathes life into stone? There is nothing you must force. There is only what you must remember. Sit with me in the sacred hush between worlds. Let the ancient current rise in your marrow, and may the code whisper once more through your very being. You are not attracting youth. You are the youth remembering itself. Chapter 1. The Hidden Geometry of Life. In the beginning there was only pattern. Long before the first cell divided, before the stars spun their stories into night, there existed an invisible architecture, divine and repeating. The spiral, the circle, the golden mean. These were not human inventions, but the fingerprints of a consciousness so ancient it left no language, only symmetry. You see it in the petals of a sunflower, in the swirl of your fingerprint, in the double helix of the DNA coiled quietly inside you. Your body does not build itself randomly. Every cell obeys a silent blueprint, traced in ratios and spirals that mirror galaxies above and seashells below. As your organs formed, they followed these invisible maps, growing in accordance with the golden ratio, 1.618, a number whispered by stars and echoed in your bone. This geometry is not decoration, it is instruction, and it speaks the language of rejuvenation. When you gaze upon a pine cone or the way a fern unfurls, you are seeing your body reflected in nature. This is not metaphor, it is memory. You came from the same algorithm, the same cosmic pen. Your spine curves like a river not by chance, but because the spiral is the most efficient expression of life's unfolding. You were never meant to be linear. You were made for flow. Within the Fibonacci sequence, numbers stack in a rhythm that life itself follows. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and so on. This is not just math. It's a pulse, a breath, a blueprint. Your cells follow this rhythm when they divide. Your heart beats with it. Even your energy centers, your chakras, spiral along your spine in accordance with these same laws. Healing begins the moment you re-enter that rhythm. Imagine now your body as a cathedral, built stone by sacred stone, each one placed by the laws of harmony. Every joint, every nerve, every fold of flesh responds to the geometry of light. Disease is not chaos. It is dissonance, a forgetting, a detour from the sacred map. But maps can be rediscovered. Harmony can be restored. This audiobook is your compass. There's a reason sacred spaces across the earth echo these patterns: pyramids, mandalas, labyrinths. The ancients knew what modern minds forget, that the body thrives when its geometry is honored. The spiral staircase, the domed ceiling, the rose window. All of it is reflected in the way your liver regenerates, your skin sheds, your bones rebuild. The sacred is not far. It is printed into your tissue. Close your eyes and breathe slowly. Picture the golden spiral within your chest, turning gently, guiding your blood, calming your nervous system. This spiral is not imagination. It is there, always. When you walk in nature, when you turn your face to the sun, when you trace a seashell with your thumb, you are realigning with the original design. In a forgotten temple carved into the cliffs of time, it is said the high priestess drew healing spirals into the sand. The sick would walk them in silence, not to find medicine, but to remember symmetry, each step a return to order, each turn a recalibration. You can do the same, with your breath, with your thoughts, with your posture, with your presence. You were made by a mind that loves symmetry, that designs stars and synapses with equal care. The lines of your face, the curve of your ear, the arc of your heartbeat, they are equations of love made flesh. Let this truth rise within you. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are the cosmos folded into form, and every spiral in you knows the way home. And so, renewal does not begin with effort. It begins with remembrance, not with striving, but with surrender to the order that built the very bones beneath your skin. Trace the spiral, breathe its rhythm, whisper to your cells, return to the code. Let life unfold once more through the geometry that never left you. Chapter 2. Quantum Fields and Cellular Whispering. Beneath the skin, beyond molecules, something quieter is speaking. It is not a voice made of breath, nor a message carried by blood. It is a hum, a shimmer, a whispering field where your cells float like stars suspended in quantum space. They do not shout commands, they exchange light. They do not wait for hormones, they pulse with electricity. And in this silent dance, your healing begins before your body even notices. You've been taught that healing is chemical, that messengers must travel through veins and bind to receptors, but there is a deeper language, faster than synapses, older than blood. It is the communication of photons, packets of light, that bounce from cell to cell in an unbroken stream of intelligence. This is not fantasy. It is physics. Your body glows with more than hope. It glows with instruction. Inside every atom of your being, charged particles shift and spin within invisible fields. These fields are not empty. They are alive, magnetic, encoded. Quantum biology now reveals what sages long whispered. The body listens in waves, in frequencies, in intention. It responds not just to substances, but to the fields that wrap around them. Healing is not applied. It is transmitted. Your cells do not live in isolation. They exist in relationship. The liver speaks to the brain through biophotons. The gut converses with the heart through vibration. Tissues harmonize not through wires but through waves. When you feel love, every fiber realigns. When you dwell in fear, even without injury, inflammation rises. Why? Because the field hears you. Because vibration carries meaning. In the quantum realm, time bends and location dissolves. Information does not travel. It arrives. This is how your cells adapt so quickly to intention. You think a thought, and the signal leaps not by distance, but by entanglement. You feel joy, and distant tissues illuminate. You shift your mood, and your chemistry follows. The wave comes first. The matter responds. Now close your eyes and picture your body as a constellation. Each cell a glowing node, connected by lines of golden current. Breathe in slowly and imagine the field pulsing softly around you. You are not flesh wrapped in emptiness. You are frequency wrapped in light. This is where the true instructions flow. Not in what you swallow, but in what you radiate. A healer once said, "Stop asking the universe. Start becoming the signal." That is what your cells wait for. A broadcast, a coherent message, a tone of peace, of worth, of life. The more you emit harmony, the more your tissues repair without permission. They don't need control, they need coherence. The signal is the medicine. There are frequencies that break, others that build. Think of your words, your thoughts, your music. Each one ripples through the field, influencing how your body behaves. Even silence holds power when laced with presence. You are not passive in your biology. You are broadcasting your state in every breath, whether you know it or not. In ancient scrolls buried beneath desert winds, it was written, "The body does not wait for the hand. It waits for the song." And so the mystics sang, to bone, to skin, to sickness. They sang because they knew vibration awakens what medicine cannot reach. And in their songs, the fields changed shape. They remembered. If you want to heal, learn to whisper again, not with lips, but with intention. Send a message through your field, not of desperation, but of certainty. I am whole. I am aligned. I am light. And your cells, ever listening, will answer, "We remember." Chapter 3. Coherence. When the orchestra plays in tune. Not all energy is equal. Some vibrates in chaos, scattered and dull. Some pulses in alignment, sharp, clear, alive. Your body is not a machine made of parts.
It is an orchestra built to play in symphony, each organ an instrument, each cell a musician, and when they tune to the same frequency, healing becomes effortless. Think of your heart as the conductor. It sets the tempo for every other player. When your breath is smooth, your thoughts are calm, and your emotions aligned, the body listens. It falls into rhythm. Scientists call this coherence.
It is the moment trillions of particles synchronize into one harmonious pulse, like a flock turning mid-air without a word. Coherence is not stillness. It is organized flow. Your heart beats, your blood swirls, your neurons fire, but they do so as one. This unity creates conditions where repair accelerates, inflammation fades, and energy multiplies. You do not heal by adding more. You heal by tuning what's already there. Alignment is the amplifier. Incoherence feels like static. Like trying to tune into a distant radio station and hearing only fragments. That's what stress does. It scrambles the signal. But when you slow down, when you soften, when you breathe with presence, something shifts. The static clears, the music returns. And every cell begins to follow the melody again. Your mitochondria, the tiny engines of your cells, work harder when coherence is present. They produce more ATP, more vitality, less oxidative waste. Your immune cells communicate better. Your digestion flows. You become quite literally more efficient, not because you fixed anything, but because you stopped the noise. Picture a choir in a stone cathedral, the sound rising and folding over itself, each voice perfectly placed. Now imagine that choir inside your chest, your brain, your bones. This is coherence. It is not a technique. It is a return, a remembering of the sacred rhythm that has always lived beneath the noise. To enter this state, breathe as the earth breathes. In through the nose, out through the mouth, slowly, evenly. Let the inhale expand your heart. Let the exhale melt your belly. Begin to feel the beat behind your breath. That is your signal. That is the moment your body waits for, the doorway to harmony. There is a story passed down through healers of old. A sick child was brought to a circle of drummers. The village knew not what herbs to give, but they knew the rhythm. They played, not to treat the body, but to entrain the soul. And when the rhythm reached the child's bones, they healed. Your thoughts matter, but your rhythm matters more. Because before the brain, before the mind, there was the pulse, the thump, the wave. And when you move in time with it, the noise recedes, the wounds soften, the body plays its song again, not in parts, but as one breath, one beat, one being. So if you ever forget how to begin, do not search for answers. Search for rhythm. Rock gently. Hum softly. Walk barefoot to the sound of your own heart, and in that quiet alignment, healing will not need to be forced. It will simply return, like a symphony remembering the first note. Chapter 4. Telomere Timekeepers. Deep inside every strand of your DNA there lies a thread, fragile, sacred, silent. This thread does not hold memory. It holds duration. It counts the passing of your cellular breath. These are your telomeres, the guardians at the end of each chromosome, whispering softly how many more times your cells may divide. But even the guardians can be soothed. Even the clock can be sung back into stillness. Each time a cell replicates, its telomeres shorten. This is not punishment, it is pacing. A built-in rhythm that ensures renewal happens in harmony, not haste. But stress frays the thread faster. Fear accelerates the cut. Anger, pollution, loneliness, all quicken the countdown. And so the story becomes not about age, but about pressure. Not about years, but about weight. There is grace, however, in awareness. When you live with intention, when you soften your breath and speak to yourself with gentleness, the body listens. It slows. Studies show that meditation can lengthen telomeres, that breathwork and forgiveness can mend what once frayed. You do not rewind time. You stop feeding the race against it. Think of your telomeres as the wick of a candle. Not just burning down, but holding the light steady. And when the flame dances in calm air, it lasts longer. Your choices are the wind. You can storm and flicker, or you can breathe and glow. The difference between decay and renewal lies in the atmosphere you create within. A woman once lived in the mountains of Bhutan, past her 100th year. When asked her secret, she simply smiled and touched her chest. "I never hurry in here," she said. That was her medicine. A heart unwound from urgency. A breath unbound from proving. Peace is not only spiritual, it is biological. Begin noticing what contracts your breath. Which thoughts shorten your inner thread? Every time you compare, you tense. Every time you rush, you slice. But when you pause, even for a minute, you invite repair. Each moment of presence tells the cell, there is no threat. And with that, the countdown rests. Let your telomeres hear music. Let them bask in sunlight. Let them taste berries and sleep deeply in silence. These are not luxuries. They are signals, reminders that you are not prey, that you are not late, that life is still soft. Cells respond to safety, and safety begins with the story you tell your nervous system. A tribe in the Amazon believes that every person has a thread only the soul can see. When it is cared for, it shines gold. When neglected, it becomes thin and pale. They do not measure age in numbers, but in brightness. And when someone begins to dim, the whole village sings to strengthen their thread. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to step away from urgency. In doing so, you do not fall behind. You move deeper. You become the keeper of your own time, a sacred steward of your cellular rhythm, not watching the clock, but rewriting it. Whisper this into your body. There is no rush. Feel how your shoulders drop, how your breath deepens, how something inside lengthens, as if a thread once frayed is being mended. This is the beginning of renewal. This is the hourglass resetting from within. Chapter 5. The Epigenetic Light Switch. There is a script within you, but it is not carved in stone. It breathes, it listens, it waits for direction. This script is your DNA, vast, intricate, ancient. But even more powerful than the script is the one who directs it. That is you. Not your thoughts, but your choices. Not your genetics, but your alignment. You were never fated to live the illnesses of your ancestors. You carry their blueprints, yes, but you also carry the pen. What is written may be inherited, but what is activated is chosen. Around every gene, there are switches, epigenetic gates that respond to light, breath, food, thought, touch. Every moment, you are deciding which code to awaken. Imagine your body as a vast library. Not every book needs to be read. Not every story needs to unfold. Some genes are best left dormant, while others, those of repair, strength, peace, are waiting for the right signal. When you live in love, in rhythm, in nourishment, you flip the right pages. You open the light. A study once found that monks who meditated for hours had gene expressions that mirrored those of people 20 years younger. Another found that gratitude practices reduced inflammatory markers. These are not miracles, they are permissions. The body responds to resonance. The script changes when the storyteller shifts their voice. You are not at the mercy of your lineage. You are the culmination of it, yes, but you are also the turning point. Your choices echo backward and forward, shifting the entire web. When you sleep deeply, your genes listen. When you eat from the earth, they awaken. When you forgive, repair enzymes flood your cells. There are foods that signal youth, berries, greens, oils rich in golden light. There are sounds that activate wellness, laughter, sacred music, silence. Even your posture speaks to your DNA. Upright, open-hearted, relaxed. This is how the script is read, not with effort, with frequency. A healer once said, "It's not your thoughts, it's your agreement with them." If you believe you are broken, your genes comply. If you believe you are healing, your biology obeys. Belief is not just mental, it is magnetic, and your body listens more to energy than to logic. The story passed through Tibetan valleys tells of a boy who was told he carried a disease. He did not know the word, so he walked barefoot, ate herbs, and laughed with the wind. And the disease never arrived. He had no belief to turn the gene on. His innocence protected him where knowledge could not. You can begin today. Light your environment. Fill your space with color, warmth, beauty. Speak kindly to yourself, not to please the mind, but to instruct the cells. Your genes are not fixed. They are fluid, like songs waiting for the right tempo to begin. Let this be your mantra. I am not my story. I am the storyteller. Say it, feel it. Watch how your body responds, not in days but in moments. The light switch is within reach, and your hands, trembling or steady, hold the power to flip it on. Chapter 6. Mitochondrial Sparks of Youth. In the smallest chambers of your cells, fires burn that you cannot see. These are not metaphorical flames, they are real. They shimmer in your mitochondria, the ancient engines within, passed down through your mother's line like sacred torches. Every blink, every heartbeat, every memory is powered by these sparks. Without them, nothing moves. With them, everything glows. These powerhouses were once free beings, wandering as bacteria until they made a sacred pact with your ancestors. "Let us live within you," they said, "and we will give you fire." That alliance still holds, but fire needs tending. When forgotten, the flame dims. When honored, it roars back to life, feeding vitality to every corner of your being. Energy is not just about food, it's about how light meets flesh. When you step into the sun, red and infrared rays pour into your cells, awakening the mitochondrial rhythm. These frequencies stimulate enzymes that generate ATP, the very currency of life. It's not the heat, it's the signal. Morning sun is not just a sunrise, it is a charge. Breath also stokes the internal fire. When you inhale deeply, filling your diaphragm, you oxygenate the mitochondria's dance. When you hold, you build pressure. When you release, you invite flow. Certain breathing rhythms even signal your body to grow more mitochondria, like planting sparks into the soil of your body's landscape. Cold has its role too. Brief exposure to icy water sends a jolt, yes, but also a message. Wake up, it says. Adapt. The mitochondria multiply in response, becoming more efficient, more resilient. Cold is not punishment. It is initiation. It teaches the body how to thrive on less and shine through stress. Movement, especially slow and deliberate, feeds these flames. When you stretch, dance, walk in rhythm, you open channels for oxygen and nutrients to reach these microfurnaces. Sedentary life snuffs them out. But motion, conscious and kind, breathes new life into the internal fire. Even stillness with breath counts when done with intention. In Japan, elders practice forest bathing, not exercise, just presence in living green spaces. The result? Mitochondrial vitality. They soak in the electromagnetic whispers of the forest, absorbing the song of chlorophyll and bark. Nature speaks to mitochondria in frequencies beyond words, reminding them how to pulse, how to shine, how to endure. You may have felt it. A glow after walking by the sea, a hum after time in sunlight, a buzz after a plunge into cold water. That feeling isn't mood. It's voltage. It's the mitochondria dancing. They don't need much, only attention, light, breath, and love. They are your inner stars, and they thrive when you remember their light. A myth from the north tells of a goddess who carried the sun in her belly. When the people grew tired and dim, she would lay hands upon their backs and whisper, "Breathe, move, stand in the light," and their strength returned. The story was never about magic. It was always about mitochondria. So today, treat your body as a temple of tiny suns. Tend the flame. Feed it light, breath, cold, movement, stillness, joy. These sparks are not just keeping you alive, they are keeping you young. And when you care for them, they will ignite something sacred in return. A body that remembers how to shine. Chapter 7. The Piezoelectric Skeleton. Your bones are not silent. Beneath their still surface, they speak a language of light and charge. Every movement sends signals, every step creates current. The body you inhabit is not just supported by the skeleton, it is energized by it. You are not stone. You are crystal wired for electricity, waiting to be activated by your own rhythm. When pressure moves through bone, it generates a subtle spark. This is the piezoelectric effect, where tension transforms into current. It's not fantasy, it's physics. The more you move with intention, the more your bones hum with life. Even stillness when conscious creates micro-shifts that awaken this circuitry. Your posture is a conductor. Your breath is a fuse. Modern life has disconnected you from this natural charge. Cushioned shoes, stiff chairs, numbing routines, these dull the bones, quiet the song. But it only takes a return to simplicity to reignite the system. Barefoot walks, gentle jumps, twists, stretches, spirals. Each one sends a message through the skeleton, a whisper. We are alive. Fascia, the connective web wrapping your muscles and bones, is part of this symphony. It stretches, tightens, flows, like silk soaked in electricity. When you move fluidly, the fascia conducts energy like a harp string being plucked. Tension distorts it, but mindful motion returns its song. Release is power, flexibility is voltage. Imagine standing on sacred earth, feet bare, spine long. As your weight shifts, electricity rises through your soles, spirals up your bones, wakes your spine. This is not metaphor, it is bioelectricity. You are not only grounded, you are charged. Earth meets structure, pressure meets current, and your body remembers its circuitry. Some tribes dance not for entertainment, but for healing. They stomped, spun, pressed their heels into the soil, activating bones as sacred drums. This was medicine, not because it looked beautiful, but because it generated energy. They knew, to heal, you must move. To regenerate, you must press against life with presence. Your joints are not meant to rust, they are meant to glide. The more you engage them, gently, rhythmically, the more electrical messages flow to your brain, your heart, your immune system. Movement is information. Stagnation is silence. You were built to pulse, not to pause forever. Each compression, each stretch is a switch that tells stem cells where to go, what to become. This is how bone rebuilds after stress. It listens to the charge. You are not waiting for healing. You are meant to create it through action, through motion, through tiny pressures woven into your every gesture. There is a tale of ancient stone temples that could sing when touched. Some say they were built to echo the frequency of the bones, that when a hand was pressed against their wall, it sent a healing note back through the body. Maybe that wasn't myth. Maybe it was memory, stored in the spine of the earth. So take a moment, press your feet into the ground, roll your shoulders, stretch your arms. Let pressure become power. Let movement become current. You do not need machines to charge you. You only need your body, your sacred structure, to remember how to hum. Chapter 8. Water's fourth phase. Water is not what you were taught. Beyond liquid, solid, and vapor, there is a hidden state, structured, luminous, alive. It forms in the spaces between cells, along membranes, where life is thinnest and magic most easily hides. This fourth phase is a crystalline gel, not frozen, not fluid, but something sacred in between. It is the water that remembers. Inside your body, this form of water builds order. It lines the vessels, surrounds the mitochondria, pulses with light. Scientists call it exclusion zone water because it repels impurities, forming a clear, coherent field. But long before the lab found it, mystics sensed it, this glowing veil within us, filtering chaos and transmitting vitality. You are more gel than liquid. This special water holds charge. When exposed to light, sunlight, infrared, even the warmth of your own body, it expands, storing energy like a living battery. You don't just drink hydration, you build it through light, through touch, through breath. Every moment in nature recharges this inner flow. Dehydration is not always lack of water, it is lack of structure. When you place your bare skin in sunlight, this water forms more easily. When you breathe deeply, oxygen stabilizes it. When you eat foods with high water content, fruits, herbs, greens, you gift your body not only moisture, but structure. Your cells need this order to communicate, to cleanse, to repair. Disorder dries, coherence flows. Consider how wounds heal faster when warmed, or how the body feels clearer after time near waterfalls or running streams. It's not just sound or scenery, it's the structuring power of moving water. Your body feels this. It responds. You are a river wrapped in skin, and the smoother the flow, the younger the stream. There are cultures that speak to water before drinking it. They bless it, hold it, swirl it with intention. Not out of superstition, but remembrance. Structured water listens. It holds the shape of prayer, the frequency of thought. It delivers these to the cells as silent instructions. You are safe. You are loved. You are new. Stillness breeds stagnation. Movement renews. The water in your body responds to motion, sound, even music. Singing, humming, drumming, they ripple through your tissues, reorganizing the liquid crystal within. Dance is not just art, it is hydration in motion. When you move with joy, your inner waters shimmer. A healer once said, if you want to restore the body, first restore the water. Let that be your practice. Rise with the sun, drink slowly, swirl, pause, place your hand on the glass. Infuse it with light. And as it enters you, let it not just quench, but cleanse. Let it remember the river within. There is an old teaching from the high Andes. The mountain does not keep water, it guides it. Your body is the same. You are not meant to hold tension, sorrow, or stagnation. You are meant to channel flow, to guide energy through clear, luminous paths, to let water be your teacher of ease. So hydrate, yes, but do more. Structure, illuminate, bless. Let water become ceremony. Let each sip remind your cells of the fourth phase, the phase that heals, that carries light, that connects memory with presence. In that silent shimmer, renewal begins. The river returns to its rhythm. And so do you. Chapter 9. Heart-Brain Symphonic Resonance. There is a rhythm inside you more ancient than thought, a pulse not just of blood, but of meaning. The heart is not merely a pump, it is a conductor, a translator, a radiant signal generator. Long before the brain fires, the heart feels. Long after logic fades, the heart remembers. And when the two align, coherence becomes transformation. Signals travel from heart to brain more often than the reverse. Each heartbeat sends messages of emotion, safety, intuition. When that rhythm is steady and slow, the brain synchronizes, waves smooth out, hormones balance. Calm is not an accident, it is a conversation, a language spoken in breath, in pulse, in frequency. Think of the heart as a drum and the brain as a dancer. If the drum is erratic, the dancer stumbles. If the drum is steady, the dancer flows. Harmony between these two creates a resonance so powerful it alters biology. In this state, your immune system strengthens, your focus sharpens, your body repairs. Breath is the bridge. When you inhale slowly through the nose and exhale longer through the mouth, you shift into parasympathetic rhythm. The heart slows. The brain softens. They begin to move together like two instruments tuning to the same note. This is not theory, it is physiology. Healing rides on this wave. In sacred traditions, the heart was always seen as the seat of wisdom. Not metaphorically, but literally. It holds neurons, memory, magnetic fields. Shamans place their hands on the chest, not the forehead, to listen. Mystics bowed to the heart center because they knew that is where the true signal begins. When your heart feels gratitude, it sends a waveform of peace. That waveform shifts your entire chemistry. The brain responds by reducing cortisol, releasing oxytocin, balancing the nervous system. You become a sanctuary, and your cells act accordingly. They repair, they realign, they rest. A monk once whispered, "To calm the mind, first bless the heart." That is the path, not force but harmony. You do not have to fix every thought, just bring rhythm to the chest. Let your breath be your metronome. Let your presence be the tuning fork. The rest will follow. There are breathing techniques passed from healer to healer. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Pause. Repeat. Do this for 3 minutes, and your entire electromagnetic field begins to change. The brain stops chasing. The heart begins leading. And in that shift, clarity awakens from within. Visualize now a golden thread from your chest to your forehead. With every breath, that thread glows brighter. The mind stops shouting. The heart begins humming. You feel whole, not because the world changed, but because you reconnected the instruments of your inner orchestra. Let this be your ritual. Breathe, listen, feel. Before you think, before you act, before you decide, return to the rhythm in your chest. It is not soft, it is sacred. And when heart and mind play in tune, the body remembers the melody of health, of peace, of you. Chapter 10. Breath as quantum lever. Your breath is the first and last bridge you ever cross. It arrives before thought, stays beneath emotion, and leaves in sacred silence. Yet how little we honor this ancient rhythm. Breathing is not survival. It is instruction. It tells the body whether to fight or heal, contract or expand, exist or evolve. It is the code hidden in plain air. Every inhale is an invitation, every exhale a release. Shallow breathing signals danger, keeping you in survival. But when you deepen the breath, lengthen it, soften it, something shifts. The nervous system surrenders, the blood carries more light. The cells open like flowers touched by morning wind. Your biology follows your breath. Through the nose is key. It filters, humidifies, slows. Nasal breathing brings nitric oxide into play, a molecule that opens blood vessels, enhances oxygen delivery, and signals immune function. It is not just breath, it's information. A message that healing can begin now, in this moment, without needing anything else. When you breathe through the diaphragm, the lower lungs engage. This tells the brain, we are safe. The vagus nerve activates, heart rate slows, digestion returns. You shift from reaction to restoration. And all of this without medicine, only air, rhythm, and your sacred awareness. Try this. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This simple rhythm recalibrates your internal field. It lowers cortisol. It quiets noise. Do it before sleep, and your dreams will change. Do it before conflict, and your words will soften. Breath is the original alchemist. It changes everything it touches. Ancient yogis knew this. They called it prana, life force, not just air. To them, breath was sacred fire, moving energy through channels unseen but deeply felt. Modern science now traces these same paths, oxygen lighting up brain regions, blood flowing where intention guides it. The old wisdom lives in new language. There's a story of a warrior who never raised his sword in battle. Instead, he sat cross-legged, breathing until the enemy forgot their anger. They said his breath shifted the weather, that crops grew where he had exhaled. Whether true or myth, the message remains. Breath can move mountains if the soul is steady. Even a sigh has power. It resets the nervous system. It shakes loose held emotion. One long exhale can erase hours of tension. You do not need complex rituals. Begin with presence. With the breath in your lungs right now, listen to it, follow it, expand it. Let it become your compass back to center. The mind will wander. Let it. Return with the next breath. The world may spin. Let it. Anchor yourself in the rise and fall of your own chest. You are not your thoughts. You are the one breathing beneath them, the witness, the wave, the rhythm eternal. So take in air not as routine, but as ceremony. Let each breath be a declaration. I choose peace. I choose life. I choose now. And as the breath moves through you, so does light, clarity, and the quantum remembrance that healing is always just one inhale away. Chapter 11. Circadian Command Center. There is a clock inside you that does not tick with hours, but with light. It watches the suns rising and falling, syncing your cells to the language of the cosmos. Long before alarm bells or calendars, the body moved by this ancient rhythm. Every hormone, every repair process, every dream is set to its cycle. It is the sacred keeper of time within your flesh. Deep in the brain, nestled in the hypothalamus, lives the master timekeeper, sensitive to every flicker of light. When the eyes sense dawn, this clock whispers to the organs, awaken. When dusk falls, it signals rest, detox, regeneration. But when artificial lights blur the edges of day and night, the body grows confused. Its orchestra plays out of sync. Your liver waits for darkness to cleanse. Your skin repairs as you sleep. Your brain rewires during quiet nights. Disrupt this rhythm, and you fray the threads of your vitality. Honor it, and you restore the symphony. It is not just about sleep, it is about alignment, with sun, with shadow, with self. Blue light is not neutral. It commands your clock to stay in daytime mode, even long after the stars have risen. Screens, overhead bulbs, late-night scrolling, they push the body out of flow. But when you dim the lights, light a candle, or look at the moon, something softens. The inner gears begin to turn in harmony again. Your meal times are also clocks. Eat too late, and digestion steals energy from cellular repair. Eat too early, and the fire isn't ready. But when you align your meals with daylight, nourishing when the sun is highest, fasting as it sets, you become a creature of earth again. And earth remembers how to heal. Evening rituals are not outdated, they are medicine, a warm bath, a soft song, a breath of stillness. They tell your system, we are done for today. Cortisol lowers, melatonin rises, the gates of restoration swing open. Sleep becomes sacred, not a pause, but a portal into deep recalibration. In traditional Chinese medicine, every organ has its hour. The lungs renew at dawn. The liver cleanses after midnight. These cycles are not superstition, they reflect real biology. Your body is a temple with time-locked doors. The key is rhythm. The door opens only when the hour is right. Children and elders often sleep in better cycles, not because they know science, but because they feel. Their bodies haven't been trained out of intuition. They yawn with the stars. They wake with the birds. They do not resist rest, and that surrender is wisdom the modern world has forgotten. You are not meant to be alert at midnight or groggy at sunrise. That is not your fault, it is the result of disconnection. But you can return, slowly, with light, with silence, with trust. Your body wants to align. It remembers the sun. It remembers the rhythm. Let it guide you home. So tonight, before you close your eyes, thank the darkness. Let it cover you like soil over seed. Let your breath deepen, your pulse soften. Know that while you sleep, the great repair has begun, not because you earned it, but because you allowed it. The clock within you is ancient, and it is always on time. Chapter 12, Microbiome Signaling Networks. You are not just one being. You are a symphony of trillions, living together, breathing together, signaling in silent harmony. Within your gut lives an entire universe, bacteria, fungi, archaea, each playing their part in your vitality. They do not simply digest, they whisper instructions, they sculpt emotion, they even guide the length of your life. The gut is a garden, and every meal is a seed. Diversity matters, not just in nutrients, but in the messages you feed your inner ecosystem. Fermented foods bring ancestral wisdom. Fibers become fuel for the healers within. Starve them, and silence spreads. Nourish them, and vitality returns from the root. These tiny beings produce neurotransmitters. Serotonin, dopamine, GABA, they don't all come from the brain. They bloom in the belly. When your microbes thrive, joy rises with no known cause. When they suffer, your spirit dims. This is not only emotional, it is molecular. Your mood begins in the soil of your gut. There is more DNA in your microbiome than in your own cells. It is your second brain, your invisible counsel. And it speaks not in words, but in chemistry. It tells your immune system when to defend and when to relax. It tells your hormones when to rise and fall. Balance is not just internal, it's collective. When your gut is inflamed, your thoughts often follow. When your digestion is sluggish, so is your clarity. But when the microbiome sings, your energy hums, your intuition sharpens, your skin glows. You are not just fed by food, you are shaped by what your microbes do with it. They are the unseen sculptors of your wellness. Cultures around the world have honored this for generations. Kimchi, kefir, sauerkraut, miso, these are not fads. They are ancient partnerships. They preserve not only nutrients but memory. Each spoonful carries a code, a frequency, a message to your cells. You are supported. You are whole. Even your cravings are not always yours. Certain microbes signal for sugar, for salt, for what feeds them. Shift your ecosystem, and your desires shift too. This is how healing begins, not by force, but by changing the inner chorus. When your inner guests are honored, they no longer scream, they sing. Fasting resets the dialogue. Going without for a time allows the ecosystem to rebalance. It clears out the overgrown, the stagnant. Add back only what brings harmony. Colorful plants, bitter greens, slow-cooked roots. Your gut doesn't need perfection. It needs presence, attention, a return to rhythm. A legend tells of a desert healer who never treated the mind before treating the belly. "Clear the river," he said, "and the sky will mirror it." Perhaps the ancients knew what science now confirms, that the gut is not below the brain, it is beside it, equal, vital, wise. So, bless your meals. Choose slowly, choose variety, choose life. Know that you are never alone in your healing. Within you is a gathering, a family, a field of light. And when you feed that field with love and living food, it answers with the same balance, resilience, and the silent language of joy. Chapter 13. Autophagy, the internal spring cleaning. Your body is not only building, it is cleansing. Quietly, gently, it removes what no longer serves. Damaged proteins, faulty organelles, tired fragments of old function, all of it swept away in a sacred process known by few but performed with wisdom every day. This is not destruction, it is renewal disguised as release. Cells have janitors. Cleaners that roam the inner corridors, checking for debris, digesting the broken, recycling the forgotten. When this process flows, the body glows. When it stagnates, aging accelerates. Inflammation builds, tiredness lingers. The difference between clutter and clarity is not outside, it is within your own cellular walls. Fasting is the ancient key, not as punishment, but as pause. When the body is not digesting food, it digests itself, lovingly, intelligently. It consumes only what must go. In that stillness, the cleanup begins. Damaged parts are broken down, recycled into new beginnings. It is not about deprivation, It is about decision. Not eating for 12, 14, even 16 hours allows this internal magic to rise. Water, herbal tea, breath and silence support it. Each hour you extend the fast, another layer of repair awakens. This is how you become lighter, not only in body, but in spirit. You are clearing what clings without permission. Movement amplifies the effect. A walk while fasting, a stretch, a breath held just long enough. These rituals accelerate the cleansing. Sauna heat, cold plunges, even deep sleep, all signal your cells to sweep the halls. It is not one practice. It is a lifestyle of sacred letting go. Autophagy is not a trend. It is encoded in your genes. Your ancestors knew its rhythm. Times of feast, times of emptiness. The space between meals was not just survival, it was design. A space to catch breath, to tidy the temple. To burn away the old and welcome the clean fire of new energy. A village elder once said, "Do not fear emptiness. It is where the soul sifts gold from gravel." In stillness, the body does the same. It knows what to keep, what to transform, what to dissolve. You don't have to instruct it, only allow it. Trust the intelligence woven through your cells. If the body is always fed, it is always distracted. If it is always full, it cannot cleanse. Create windows, sacred pauses. Morning light with only water. Evening hours wrapped in herbal calm. Let the digestive fire rest, and watch how the inner fire returns with brightness. There is a balance, of course. Listen, always. Not every body is ready for deep fasting. Start slow, begin with rhythm. Let hunger come, let it speak. It may not say lack, it may say, it is time to clear, to lighten, to listen. The voice of renewal is soft but steady, so honor the sacred pause. Let your cells remember what they were made for. In the quiet between meals, a deep conversation begins. One where the body whispers, "We know what to do." And in that knowing, age is reversed, waste is released, and life begins again, fresh, simple, free. Chapter 14. Emotional Alchemy. There are feelings you've buried so deeply they began shaping your biology. Emotions do not vanish, they translate into hormones, tension, inflammation, fatigue. But there is a gift hidden in this truth. If emotion can harm, it can also heal. You are not a victim of feelings. You are their alchemist. And alchemy begins with presence. Every thought sends a signal. Every emotion releases a chemical. Joy softens. Grief tightens. Shame contracts. Gratitude expands. These are not moods. They are frequencies, shaping your immune response, your digestion, your heartbeat. You are a vessel of translation. What you feel becomes what you are. Until you remember, you can transmute. Start with awareness, not judgment, not analysis, just noticing. Where does anger sit in your body? Where does sorrow live? Place your hand there. Breathe into it. This is not fixing, it is witnessing. The moment you feel fully, the charge begins to shift. The storm calms when it is no longer resisted. Gratitude is the master key, not forced, not performative, but real. Start small. The warmth of a mug, the softness of light, the breath that continues even when you forget to ask. These acknowledgements ripple through the limbic brain down into the immune system. They say, "We are safe," and the body listens. Kindness is not just moral, it is medicinal. When you perform a small act of compassion, oxytocin flows, cortisol drops, heart rate evens. You don't need grand gestures. A smile, a hand on your heart, a whispered, "I forgive you" to yourself in the dark. These are potent prescriptions encoded in your blood. There are studies now that confirm what the mystics always knew. Positive emotions extend lifespan. They regenerate. But this isn't about fake light. True joy includes sorrow. True love includes pain. Alchemy does not deny, it transforms. The fire of feeling becomes gold when tended with awareness and breath. Journaling clears the fog. Writing what you feel gives the emotion form, and with form it loses power to haunt. The pen is a wand. Each word a spell to extract what lingers unseen. Let it pour out, without filter, without shame. The page does not judge, it receives, and in doing so, releases. There is an old story of a healer who wept with every patient. She did not see it as weakness, but cleansing. Her tears helped others cry, and in the crying their wounds softened. You are allowed to feel deeply, fully. Emotion is not a barrier to healing, it is the doorway. Your biology shifts when your story shifts. Speak a new story. I am learning. I am softening. I am willing. This creates space. Hormones shift, neurons rewire, blood flows differently. You do not have to reach enlightenment, just choose a lighter thought, one breath closer to center. So sit now, hands open. Inhale gently, ask yourself, what feeling is waiting to be loved? And then offer it kindness, as you would a child or a wounded bird. In that moment, you are no longer trapped by emotion. You are shaping it. And in shaping it, you begin again, lighter, clearer, whole. Chapter 15, Sound Frequencies That Heal. Not all healing comes in silence. Some of it arrives through vibration, pure, invisible, ancient. Sound is not just heard with the ears, it is felt in the bones, in the blood, in the nervous system. Your body is a resonant chamber, and every frequency shapes it. Sound is form before it becomes music. It is medicine before it becomes melody. Each organ, each tissue carries a tone. When that tone is disrupted by trauma, by noise, by emotional static, the body forgets its song. But sound can remind it. A hum, a chant, a simple note played in stillness can restore lost harmony. You don't always need words. Sometimes the vibration alone is enough. 528 Hz, the so-called frequency of love, has been studied for its effects on DNA repair. The Schumann resonance, around 7.83 Hz, matches the Earth's natural pulse and calms the nervous system. These are not esoteric beliefs. They are measurable forces, and your body is tuned to receive them if you let it. In sacred spaces, chants were used not for worship alone, but for realignment. Tibetan monks, Gregorian choirs, indigenous drums, all rooted in healing through tone. The voice was an instrument, the drum, a pulse, the rattle, a shaker of stagnation. Sound didn't entertain, it transformed. Your voice is one of the most powerful healing tools you own. Humming activates the vagus nerve. Singing regulates breath and emotion. Even a whisper, when spoken with presence, shifts your chemistry. You don't have to be trained. You only need to be willing to vibrate your truth. Try this. Place one hand on your chest, the other on your belly. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Hum as you exhale. A deep, rich tone, feeling it vibrate your ribs, your skin, your spine. This is your sound. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It only has to be yours. Let it cleanse. Let it guide. In ancient Africa, it was said that when someone forgot their purpose, the community would gather and sing their soul song back to them. The body, too, forgets sometimes. It stores grief, dulls its tone. But when you flood it with harmony, the memory returns. Cells brighten, breath deepens, the soul nods in recognition. Music is not passive. Choose wisely what you listen to. Certain melodies open channels, others close them. Let your environment be a soundscape of nourishment, singing bowls. Ocean waves, chimes in the wind, even silence when held with reverence becomes a sacred tone. Some healers work only with tuning forks or gongs, not to impress, but to invoke. The frequency enters the field and the field shifts. You don't have to understand how. It is enough to feel. The body speaks frequency fluently, even when the mind cannot translate. So let yourself become a vessel of healing sound. Speak gently, sing freely, listen deeply. Let the vibrations bathe your cells, align your bones, soften your fears. In the end, it may not be the words that heal you, but the tone beneath them, the vibration of wholeness returning. Chapter 16, Light as Nutrient. There is food that enters through the mouth, and there is food that enters through the skin. Light is one of the most ancient forms of nourishment. Long before humans cultivated grains or discovered fire, we lived by the rhythm of sun and shadow. Each sunrise was a blessing, each sunset a signal to restore. Your cells are not blind. They receive light through photoreceptors, tiny antennae tuned to specific wavelengths. Red and near-infrared light penetrate deeply, waking enzymes that build ATP and repair tissue. This is not theory. It is biology. You are not just warmed by light, you are activated by it. Mitochondria, the power generators of your cells, respond directly to light frequencies. When exposed to certain wavelengths, they function more efficiently, producing more energy with less waste. This glow is not metaphorical. It is measurable. Your vitality is written in photons, not just vitamins. A brief moment of early sun, especially within the first hour of waking, sets your internal clock. Hormones align, cortisol peaks naturally, melatonin knows when to return. This rhythm is sacred, and the sun is the conductor. When you wake without light, your body wanders, uncertain of the day's beginning. Light heals more than fatigue. It influences mood, cognition, immune strength. Seasonal depression is one clear example, but subtle shifts affect all of us. Artificial light tricks the brain. Overexposure at night and underexposure during the day lead to confusion. True balance begins with skyward attention. Red light therapy, low level and safe, mimics the nourishing rays of dawn and dusk. It calms inflammation, encourages collagen, soothes joints. It's not about tanning, it's about cellular dialogue. The light says, repair now, and the body listens, not with ears, but with quantum response. In ancient temples, light entered through specific angles. Beams would strike statues at equinox, illuminating sacred symbols only on certain days. These were not architectural tricks. They were rituals of alignment. Humans have long known that light reveals not only objects, but meaning. Plants turn toward the sun instinctively. So do you. When you sit beside a window, when you close your eyes and tilt your face to the sky, your body rejoices. This act is not lazy. It is necessary. You are photosynthetic in ways we've only begun to understand. You absorb more than you see. Allow light to touch your bare skin whenever possible. Morning and evening are gentle. Midday can be harnessed wisely. Let it kiss your eyelids, your chest, your palms. Let it inform your cells. You are alive. You are in time. Even 5 minutes in natural light rewires something subtle and essential. So let the day begin with intention. Open the curtains. Step outside. Remove barriers between you and the sky. Light is not just a backdrop. It is a partner in your healing. Receive it like a sacred gift. Because that's what it is, the oldest nourishment on earth still offered freely every morning. Chapter 17. Grounding the Circuit. Beneath your feet lies more than soil. It is a vast reservoir of electrons waiting to restore you. The earth is not just where you walk, it's where you recalibrate. Every barefoot step reconnects you to a current older than language. You are wired for this contact, built to receive its silent energy. Modern shoes insulate. Concrete disconnects. Screens pull you upward into thought, but the ground calls you back to sensation. Your nervous system softens the moment your skin touches earth. The static discharges. The tension unwinds. This is not imagined, it is electric truth. Your body operates on voltage. Cells fire with charge. Muscles contract through ions. The balance of these forces depends on grounding. When you are disconnected too long, your circuits overload. Inflammation rises. Sleep falters. Mood becomes fog. But one moment of connection can begin the repair. Stand on grass, walk on sand, rest against a tree. Let your skin touch the body of the planet. In that simple gesture, your blood thins, your heartbeat steadies, your cortisol drops. It is not a metaphor, it is measurable. And you carry the equipment for this healing with you always, your feet. Ancient people knew this without needing science. They slept on the ground, worked with their hands in the soil, prayed beside rivers. The earth was temple, bed, medicine. Disconnection came with modernity, but the invitation remains open. The ground has not stopped singing. Some describe tingling, some describe warmth. Others feel nothing at first, yet sleep better that night. The effects are subtle, cumulative. Like tuning a string that's been slightly off for years, each step pulls you back into your own rhythm. Not only with earth, but with yourself. Water amplifies the effect. Wet sand, dewy grass, river stones, they conduct more freely. Rain is not a nuisance. It is a conductor. Swim in lakes. Soak your hands in streams. Let nature be your plug back into the grid of life. Healing isn't always about addition. Sometimes it's about reconnection. A tribal elder once said, "The earth speaks in pulses. If you sit still enough, she will retune your heart." This is not poetic exaggeration. It is wisdom encoded in every barefoot child, every grounded breath, every animal lying belly down on the dirt in silence. Make it a ritual. Begin the morning with 10 minutes on the earth. End the day with bare feet beneath the stars. Even in cities, find your patch, your moment, your reconnection. It's not about time. It's about contact. A remembering of what you are, voltage, water, soul wrapped in clay. So strip away the layers between you and the ground. Let your body hum again with the pulse of this living planet. You are not separate from the earth. You are an extension of her field. And every time you touch her, you heal the illusion of separation, and the body heals with you. Chapter 18. Flow states and neurogenesis. There are moments when time disappears, when effort becomes ease and thought gives way to pure presence. This is not chance, it is a doorway. A state where the mind and body merge into a single current and something higher takes the reins. In this space, you are not performing. You are becoming. When you enter this state, the brain lights up differently. Self-doubt fades, cortisol drops, dopamine rises, creativity spills forward like water through an opened gate. Your nervous system softens even as your focus sharpens. It is not passive relaxation, it is sacred activation, born of alignment. This place cannot be forced. It arrives when intention meets surrender. Painting, surfing, writing, dancing, whatever invites full immersion opens the door. There's no room for overthinking, only rhythm, only trust. And within that rhythm, neurons bloom. New paths form. Healing happens without effort. Neurogenesis, the creation of new brain cells, was once thought impossible in adults. But now we know it happens in these moments of flow. When you engage with life, with curiosity and risk, your brain regenerates. You are not just using what you have, you are expanding what is possible. To reach this state, begin with presence. Turn off distractions. Enter something slightly challenging but deeply engaging. Let yourself be pulled by interest, not pushed by force. Flow comes through focus and joy, not obligation. The path in is always through the now. Movement helps, So does breath. So does a sense of play. You are not here to survive monotony. You are here to dance with creation. When you do what you love, the brain responds with growth, the body floods with energy, and time, that old master, softens its grip. Some cultures created ritual to induce this state. Drumming circles, fire dances, long treks across sacred land. These weren't performance. They were medicine. The trance was healing. The surrender was sacred. They knew what we forget. To lose the self is sometimes to return to it. You felt it before, even briefly. The moment you forgot yourself in a task, in a gaze, in a story. That was the gateway. Each time you enter it, you remember how vast you are. You remember that you are more than your thoughts. You are the river that carries them. Let go of perfection. Flow does not ask you to be flawless. It asks you to be willing, to meet the moment fully without holding back. It is in that fearless presence that the brain opens its gates and the body follows in delight. Joy becomes the engine of evolution. So give yourself permission to lose track of time, to be absorbed, enchanted, utterly here. In that absorption, you heal more than you know, because when you are fully alive, the body responds with its own aliveness. And in that response, the future rewrites itself, one breath, one beat, one beautiful moment at a time. Chapter 19. The Placebo Superpower. Belief is not passive, it is architecture. It builds bridges between cells and outcomes, between biology and intention. Every thought sends ripples into the body's chemistry. The moment you believe something is working, your physiology begins to shift. Not in imagination, in measurable molecular ways. There are trials where sugar pills relieved pain, where saline injections calmed inflammation, where sham surgeries led to full recoveries. The mind did not fake the healing, it triggered it. The expectation of wellness became the signal, and the signal became the pharmacy. You are the doctor you've been waiting for. Your brain carries its own medicine cabinet, endorphins, cannabinoids, dopamine, serotonin. These aren't just reactions, they can be released by belief. When you expect relief, the brain obliges, it opens the door, it sends messengers to every system, whispering, "We are safe, we are healing, begin." This doesn't mean you imagine your way out of all illness. It means your attitude shapes your response. It means that how you receive a remedy can be as important as the remedy itself. Ritual amplifies this. Trust magnifies it. Skepticism shuts it down. The body listens to certainty. Placebo isn't deception, it is potential. It's your system proving its responsiveness to intention. It's your cells tuning in to what you believe to be true. When belief aligns with environment and behavior, biology follows. You are more programmable than you've been told, and you hold the code. Visualization enhances the effect. Close your eyes. Picture the healing entering your body, golden, gentle, precise. See it soaking into every organ, awakening dormant energies. You're not pretending, you're initiating. The body mirrors the image. Cells follow imagination, like dancers following music. In ancient temples, healers gave herbs and water, but also stories, symbols, sacred words. They understood that meaning changes matter, that ritual deepens receptivity, that when you expect the sacred, your body begins to receive it. It's not manipulation, it's cooperation between spirit and flesh. Trust is the gatekeeper. If you doubt, your nervous system braces. If you believe, it relaxes. Safety is the soil where all healing grows. No cure works well in fear, but in calm, in hope, in quiet confidence, the doors open. The body reveals its innate intelligence. Even gratitude activates this inner medicine. When you thank your body in advance for healing, something ignites, not begging, not waiting, just thanking, as if it's already done. This posture of faith rewires your chemistry. It aligns the field. It prepares the ground for what's coming. So breathe in this truth. Your belief is not weak. It is a signal, a code, a flame. Speak kindly to your cells. Expect the miracle without needing to control how it arrives. And trust that sometimes the most powerful medicine is the one you already carry. Belief, steady and radiant, lighting the way home. Chapter 20. Intermittent hypoxia training. There is wisdom in the edge between comfort and effort, in the pause before breath returns, in the space where the body says this is unfamiliar and yet chooses to adapt. Breath holds secrets, not just in the inhale or the exhale, but in the silence between. It is there that ancient mechanisms awaken. When oxygen dips momentarily, a signal is sent. The body doesn't panic, it prepares, it builds strength beneath the surface, capillaries expand, erythropoietin rises, mitochondria multiply. This isn't danger, it's intelligent pressure. A nudge toward resilience, performed in deliberate waves. Short sessions of held breath, guided with calm and awareness, mimic the body's experience at altitude. The lack of air teaches it to use what it has more efficiently. It doesn't waste, it sharpens, it becomes more refined. Not weaker, but wiser. Every cell learns to thrive on less. You are not gasping, you are communicating. Holding the breath, even for 10 or 20 seconds beyond the usual, becomes a ritual. A conversation with your nervous system, a sacred pressure that whispers, "Grow stronger here." And slowly it does, not with strain, but with trust. This practice must be gentle, done with presence, never force. Let the breath move like a tide. Draw in deeply, hold softly, release slowly. Feel the edges. Meet your limit with kindness. The goal is not to test survival, but to awaken dormant power, to remind the body that it can evolve. In this state, growth factors are released. Stem cells are mobilized. Vascular networks deepen. You begin to build new rivers within your own bloodstream. The heart beats with new purpose. The lungs stretch with ancient memory. This is adaptation, the body remembering its original intelligence. Athletes have used it. Monks have practiced it. Mountain dwellers live it. You don't need altitude. You need attention. Just a few minutes a day, lying down, in stillness. It is not about performance. It is about inner reprogramming. About unlocking a biology long overlooked by ease. Imagine a flame that grows brighter only when the wind tries to extinguish it. That is your cellular fire under temporary stress, the flicker that becomes a blaze. Intermittent challenge creates lasting strength. Your body is not resisting you, it's responding, reshaping itself with every held breath. Even emotions soften through this. Fear dissipates, anxiety loses its grip. The body becomes grounded, clear, focused. Not because the world changes, but because your inner climate stabilizes. You breathe less but live more. Each session becomes a silent ceremony of trust and transformation. So take the next breath, not as routine, but as sacred training. Fill, hold, feel, release, begin again. Let the breath teach you resilience, not just in the lungs, but in the soul. You are not meant to stay safe forever. You are meant to grow. And sometimes growth begins where the air thins, just long enough to awaken the fire. Chapter 21. Glymphatic night. Flush. There is a quiet cleansing that takes place when the world falls away. In the dark, beneath the stillness, your brain begins its most sacred task, removing the debris of thought, the residue of emotion, the weight of waking. You do not see it, but it flows like a secret river deep within. This system is not like the rest. It doesn't run constantly. It waits for silence. It waits for sleep. And only then, as neurons shrink and space expands, does the inner current rise. Cerebrospinal fluid pulses gently, washing through brain tissue, gathering toxins, memories no longer needed, the echoes of stress. You cannot force this process. It depends on surrender, deep rest, not just closed eyes. The kind of sleep that comes when the body is cool, the room is dark, and the mind has released its grip. It is in this letting go that the system opens, and when it does, renewal begins. The position you sleep in matters. On your side, especially your left, drainage flows more freely. This isn't superstition, it's supported by science and echoed by ancient teachings. Your body has pathways, and when honored, they serve you quietly, night after night, drop by drop. Magnesium helps, gently guiding you into deeper states. So does silence. So does the absence of screens, noise, stimulation. Your mind is not meant to glow with artificial light at midnight. It is meant to dim, to soften, to yield to the pull of gravity and time. That is how the gates open. When this system fails, fog sets in, memory dulls, emotions linger. But when it flows, you awaken lighter, clearer, brighter. Not because anything new was added, but because what was old was released. Detox is not always a purge. Sometimes it is simply permission to let the body do what it already knows. You may notice how dreams grow more vivid when your sleep deepens. This too is part of the flow. Dreams are not just stories, they are part of the sorting, the sifting, the realignment. Let them pass through you like water, cleansing what cannot be spoken in daylight. Create a ritual. Cool your space, dim your lights an hour early, drink something warm and grounding, stretch gently. Let sleep arrive like a sacred guest, not an afterthought. This is not laziness, it is the deepest form of repair. A return to balance through sacred unconsciousness. There are traditions where sleep was considered a spiritual practice. Shamans, monks, poets, they all spoke of the hours when the soul re-enters the body differently. Perhaps they sensed what science now measures, that in the dark the brain glows with renewal, washes itself in silence. So tonight, when you lay your head down, bless the darkness. Feel the pull of sleep not as escape, but as initiation. Your brain has waited all day for this moment. Let it flush, flow, reset. And know that in the quietest hours, beneath your awareness, healing moves like water, cleansing you into clarity. Chapter 22. Quantum Touch and Biofield Therapies. You are more than tissue and thought. Around you pulses an unseen field, shaped by intention, emotion, memory. This field is not fantasy. It is measurable, mutable, alive. Every living being radiates it. And in this radiant space, healing begins before hands ever touch the skin. When another enters your field with presence and purity, something shifts. Not by force, but by invitation. The heart's electromagnetic rhythm expands, reaching far beyond the chest. Brainwaves entrain, breath synchronizes. The body receives without words, as if remembering what it had simply forgotten for a while. Practices like Reiki, therapeutic touch, or energy healing are not about belief. They are about resonance. One system entering coherence and offering that state to another. You don't need to understand it fully for it to work, just like you don't need to see the wind to feel it move your skin. Hands hovered above the body can change heart rate variability, reduce pain, calm inflammation. Studies now confirm what mystics knew. The field holds patterns, and those patterns can be rewritten. Not with manipulation, but with focused presence, with the right intention flowing into the space between. Healers throughout history touched without touching. They waved smoke, whispered mantras, placed symbols in the air. This wasn't performance, it was interaction with the subtle body. An acknowledgement that not all healing requires pressure. Some healing comes through vibration, light and sacred silence. You too carry this ability. When you place your hands over your own heart, when you hover above your belly with love, your field responds. Self-touch becomes a ritual, a reset. You are not separated from the intelligence that heals. You are its vessel. Trust what your body feels even when the mind doubts. Animals sense it. Babies respond to it. The body leans into what feels coherent even when unspoken. When someone enters a room with grounded peace, others breathe easier. This is field transmission. It's happening all the time. The question is, are you aware of what you're sending and receiving? Skepticism is welcome, but let it be open, not armored. Try it. Sit with someone in silence, hand over their back, no words, just breath, just attention, see what softens. Healing doesn't always roar, it often whispers, and the biofield carries the echo. Let your space become sacred. Light a candle, center yourself. Call in coherence. Whether for yourself or another, offer your presence like warm light. Place your palms near the body. Breathe slowly. Say nothing. The field knows what to do. The energy remembers its shape. Soften your eyes. Steady your breath. Trust that the unseen is still real. You don't have to fix anyone. You only have to hold space. In that quiet holding, miracles unfold, and in the realm beyond molecules, where frequency shapes form, the soul accepts its invitation to come home. Chapter 23. Nutrient Timing for DNA Repair. There is more to nourishment than what you eat. Timing weaves its own magic. Every cell runs on rhythms, circadian, metabolic, energetic. When you align food with those cycles, you don't just feed the body, you activate it. Precision becomes power, and simple nutrients become catalysts for cellular renewal. DNA is not passive, it listens. Every bite, every sip carries information. But that message is amplified or softened depending on when it arrives. Antioxidants in the morning help counter oxidative stress. Omega-3s at midday enhance brain clarity. Polyphenols at twilight support the body's transition into rest and repair. There is an unseen conversation happening at all hours between your food and your genome. If eaten in alignment, even simple meals become instruction manuals. But when out of sync, they confuse the signal. It's not about rigid rules, it's about sacred timing. Learning to listen to the body's daily tides. Early light triggers metabolism. That's when enzymes wake, the liver opens, blood sugar stabilizes more easily. A nutrient-dense breakfast grounds you. Skipping it in favor of chaos can strain the rhythm, not because of guilt, but because the clock has already started ticking, whether you honor it or not. Midday is when digestion is strongest. It's the sun's mirror in your belly. Heavier meals are better received here. Proteins are broken down more efficiently. The body is active, ready to use what you give. To eat light at noon and feast at night is to fight your own fire. Evening asks for softness, lighter meals, slow chewing. The body is shifting into detox, not digestion. A simple soup, herbal tea, a handful of berries. These become not just nourishment, but alignment. They say, we are done striving. They say, let the repair begin. Some nutrients amplify DNA repair directly. Vitamin C mends oxidative wounds. Zinc stabilizes cellular replication. Magnesium calms the nervous system, allowing the healing to deepen. But these tools work best when they arrive at the right moment, like keys turned only when the door is ready to open. Consider color. Dark greens and purples in the evening bring cooling energy. Bright oranges and reds in the morning bring warmth and focus. This is not superstition. It is a language, a way of feeding yourself with more than nutrients, with rhythm, with resonance, with light encoded in form. Let your plate become a prayer. Ask your body what it needs and when. Trust its signals. Eat not to fill, but to inform. This is where food becomes medicine, not only by content, but by cadence. The meal becomes a message. We are in sync. We are listening. We are ready to renew. So before your next meal, pause, breathe. Place your hand on your belly and ask, is this the time? Not to restrict, but to align. Your cells are waiting for rhythm more than variety. And when they receive it, they don't just digest. They remember, they repair, they return to balance. Chapter 24, Detox Pathways 2.0. Your body is not a passive container. It is a flowing river of renewal. Each moment, toxins are transformed, filtered, carried out. But this system was not built to face modern overload. What once handled roots, smoke, and soil must now face plastics, metals, chemicals, noise. It needs support, not panic, not war, just cooperation. 2 phases guide the release. The first transforms harmful substances into intermediate compounds, sometimes more reactive, more dangerous. The second neutralizes and escorts them out. If the second phase lags behind the first, toxins linger. This is not failure, it is a traffic jam. The solution is not force, it is flow. Your liver leads the way, but it's not alone. Kidneys, lungs, skin, lymph, they all participate. Each has a rhythm, each responds to care. Bitter herbs awaken bile, cruciferous vegetables activate enzymes. Sulfur-rich foods, like garlic, onions, cabbage, fuel the release. The body does not need cleansing, it needs support to do what it already knows. Dry brushing moves lymph like wind over water. Rebounding, stretching, even humming help. The lymphatic system has no pump. It waits for you to move, to sway, to breathe fully. This river must not stagnate. Flow is the key, and rhythm is the guide. You are both mover and moved. Your skin is a vast release valve. Sweat is sacred. Saunas invite the purge. Clay masks, salt baths, time in the sun. These are not indulgences. They are portals. When the pores open, the body speaks. And when you listen, it responds, lightly, clearly, with less and less burden. Hydration is the foundation, not just water, but mineralized water. With trace elements, with a structure the cells recognize. Plain water flows through, but living water flows with purpose. It lubricates every pathway. It cools the fire. It blesses the exit with grace. The breath is also a purifier. Carbon dioxide, ammonia, volatile compounds, they all exit on the exhale. A long breath out is more than calming, it is cleansing. Conscious breathing is internal sweeping, a daily reset that asks nothing but presence and patience. Bitters are often missing in modern diets. Yet they are the very flavor that awakens digestion, bile, enzyme flow. Dandelion, arugula, artichoke, turmeric, each one a signal to the inner alchemists, not to work harder but smarter. To clear not only the body but the fog of stagnation. Cleansing is not depletion, it is not starvation, it is intelligent subtraction. Remove what clogs, support what clears, add what strengthens. Let the body speak, not through symptoms, but through clarity. A mind that brightens, a gut that softens, a heart that feels lighter in its rhythm. So honor your pathways. Don't declare war on your body. Partner with it. Create space. Offer herbs, water, breath, motion, rest. Trust that the intelligence within you is not confused. It is simply waiting for space to flow. And when you give it that space, the release becomes effortless, sacred, complete. Chapter 25. Hormesis, thriving on stress. There is a type of pressure that doesn't destroy, it strengthens. A sacred edge where discomfort invites adaptation, not collapse. The body is designed to meet challenge, not avoid it. But the challenge must be brief, intentional, and followed by rest. This is how nature forges resilience without cruelty. When you expose your system to mild stress, heat, cold, fasting, movement, the cells respond with alertness. They produce protective proteins. They build stronger mitochondria. They learn. What was once fragile becomes flexible. What was dormant begins to spark. Strength is not born in comfort. It is sculpted in contrast. Too much ease weakens. Too much force breaks. But the balance in between, the flicker of challenge followed by recovery, is where growth lives. Fire needs oxygen, but too much wind will snuff it out. Your vitality is that same flame. It grows brightest at the edge of your familiar. Cold plunges awaken more than skin. They train your nervous system to stay calm in stress. Heat from saunas activates heat shock proteins which protect and repair. Short bursts of exercise send signals to grow, not to defend. Each one a micro-stressor, a quiet initiation into greater capacity. Fasting, when done with intention, is another signal. It says, we can adapt. The body doesn't panic. It reorganizes, cleans, sharpens. It's not about less. It's about unlocking more from within. Hunger becomes the whisper that calls ancient systems back online, systems that remember how to thrive on less. These stressors must be respected. Too frequent, too intense, and they become injury. But when spaced with recovery, with breath, with nourishment, they transform you. Like metal tempered by flame, your biology becomes more elegant, more responsive, more awake to life's rhythm. Nature lives this way. Trees bend in wind and grow stronger. Animals fast between hunts. Mountains shift through fire and ice. You're not separate from this wisdom. You were made to meet life, not hide from it. Your body knows how to dance at the edge. It only asks you to return. The mind resists at first. It craves the familiar. But the spirit longs for initiation, for the slight tremble before the breakthrough. Let it come. Step into the river of effort, just long enough to wake the system, just deep enough to remind the soul that it is vast, not fragile. Rest is the sacred partner of stress. After the plunge, warm tea. After the sprint, stillness. After the burn, breath. This is the full cycle. This is how adaptation becomes lasting. You rise, stretch, tremble, and then soften, letting the message integrate like golden ink into paper. So invite the edge with reverence, not recklessly, but with curiosity. Let stress become the teacher, not the tyrant. Let it shape you, not shrink you. And with each round of challenge met, your cells will remember this body was built to thrive, not in stillness alone, but in the pulse between fire and peace. Chapter 26. Nano Movement and Fascia Fitness. Beneath your muscles, deeper than skin, lies a web that remembers everything, every movement, every stillness, every trauma. This web is not passive, it's alive, elastic, electric. It stretches from crown to toe, wrapping every organ, weaving sensation into structure, and it responds best not to force, but to subtlety. You were not built just to lift and run. You were made to bend, sway, spiral, undulate. The body's intelligence doesn't live only in the big motions, it lives in the small. The micro movements, the shifts too gentle to be called exercise, these are where hydration flows, where life re-enters tired tissue. Fascia is a sensory organ, faster than nerves, more ancient than bone. It listens. When you stretch with presence, when you breathe into a twist, the fascia uncoils. Tension melts, water moves, information flows. You do not need to break yourself open. You need to melt what has frozen. Tiny movements speak volumes. Rocking on your feet. Rolling your shoulders slowly, tilting your pelvis like a bowl of water. These actions rehydrate stiff layers. They release what words cannot. The trauma stored as tightness, the memory trapped in posture, it all begins to loosen, to exhale. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is its refinement. Even in meditation, the body shifts, adjusts, pulses quietly. To move mindfully is to let the fascia breathe. to unbind the lines of stagnation. This is not performance. It is communion with the inner terrain. Massage, rolling, gentle resistance, they all wake the sleeping tissues, but intention matters more than intensity. Feel your way in. Don't conquer your body. Invite it to unfold. Movement becomes poetry, not punishment. And in that softness, energy returns like a long-forgotten stream. Hydration isn't only about drinking. It's about keeping your inner rivers flowing. Fascia holds and delivers water through tension and release. Dryness, stiffness, pain. They're signs that the network needs care, needs spirals, not sharpness, needs breath, not bracing. Your softness is your strength. A story is told of a dancer who healed from chronic pain, not by therapy, but by circling her wrists slowly every morning. That motion, gentle, conscious, regular, untangled her spine over time. This is the power of nano movement. What looks like nothing becomes everything. You are a symphony of spirals. DNA, muscles, breath, thoughts, all coiling and uncoiling in time. To honor the spiral is to return to your blueprint. Move in circles, in waves, in figure eights. Let your body echo the cosmos. In that echo, the stiffness dissolves, the signal returns. So wake your body kindly, stretch like smoke, sway like water, roll like the wind over tall grass. Your healing is not in force, but in remembering how to feel, how to listen. How to move in ways so small, they open spaces you didn't know were closed and bring you back to wholeness. Chapter 27. Electrical nutrition, minerals and electrolytes. Beneath every heartbeat, every nerve impulse, every breath, there is charge. A quiet current flowing through your cells like a sacred wire. This electricity does not come from machines. It comes from minerals. Tiny sparks of earth within your blood, guiding function, balance and clarity with every pulse. Your body is not just chemical. It is electric. Sodium opens the gates, potassium closes them, calcium ignites contraction, magnesium releases it. These are not just nutrients. They are switches, codes, conductors. Without them, the messages falter. With them, the system sings in perfect timing. When you sweat, you don't just lose water, you lose signal. That fatigue, that headache, that sudden fog, it's often not hunger. It's depletion, a loss of charge. Replenishing is not just drinking, but restoring the salts of life. Sea minerals, coconut water, earth-born electrolytes. Table salt is not enough. It is stripped, hollow. But real salt, unrefined, mineral-rich, is a conductor. It carries trace elements your body remembers. Just a pinch in your water, just a few flakes on your tongue. And suddenly, the circuit flickers back to life. It is not quantity, it is quality. Magnesium is often the first to leave under stress. It soothes the nerves, balances the heart, releases the clenched fist of thought. It is the mineral of letting go, of exhale. Glycinate for sleep, citrate for digestion, malate for energy. Each form speaks a different dialect. Listen for the one you need. Even trace minerals matter: zinc, selenium, boron. Quiet stabilizers of enzyme and immunity. You may never feel them directly, but their absence echoes. Hair thins, mood dips, focus scatters. These whispers are clues. You are not broken. You are asking for reconnection to Earth's wisdom. Your bones are batteries, your muscles, electrical coils, and the heart, a magnetic drum, beating rhythm into your entire field, every contraction guided by voltage, by ions dancing across membranes. To nourish this dance is to honor your aliveness, not just with food, but with frequency. Water alone cannot hydrate without minerals. It slips through without quenching. Add minerals, and it holds structure. It enters the cell. It communicates. Suddenly, your tissues respond, your skin glows, your mind sharpens. Hydration is not about volume, it's about absorption, conductivity. Cramps, palpitations, sudden weakness, these are not always signs of illness. Often they are signals of low voltage, a system trying to reboot without the necessary code. Replenish your minerals and see what returns. You are not far from balance. You're simply missing the key inputs. So nourish the current. Return to the elements. Let your food be colorful, your salt be alive, your water be full of memory. The spark within you is waiting for the earth's whisper to ignite it again. And when it does, you don't just feel better. You become radiant with the electricity of life itself. Chapter 28. Visualizing Cellular Renewal. There is a realm within you that listens not to logic, but to imagery. It responds to symbols, to sensations, to what you vividly imagine as real. Your body does not separate what is seen with the eyes from what is seen with the heart. To the cells, an image is instruction. A vision is a blueprint. Close your eyes and picture golden light moving through your bloodstream. See it swirling into the lungs, the liver, the joints. Your mind may say it's pretend, but your body begins responding. Heart rate shifts, immunity strengthens, hormones adjust, all because you dared to imagine healing as truth. Guided imagery is not fantasy, it is biological activation. In brain scans, the same regions light up whether you perform an action or visualize it. This means that mental rehearsal isn't rehearsal at all. It's real. You are already teaching the body to repair, to regenerate, to return to harmony. Begin simply. Picture your cells like stars, each one glowing, expanding, pulsing with potential. Imagine a gentle wave washing through, clearing debris, sparking life. Let your breath guide the tempo. Inhale light, exhale static. This is not effort, it is communion. A quiet meeting between will and wisdom. Some healers speak of colors: green for renewal, blue for calm, violet for transformation. Use them if they resonate. Assign meaning. Let your body paint its own inner sanctuary. Trust the pictures that arise. They are not random. They are messages from deeper layers where words cannot reach. Athletes use this to accelerate recovery. Patients use it to reduce pain. Artists use it to enter flow. You can use it to reshape your cellular field. 5 minutes a day, no tools required, just presence, just imagination, and the willingness to believe that the inner screen creates outer shifts. There is a story from an old tradition of a woman who healed by walking through her own organs in meditation. She would greet her lungs, speak to her bones, whisper to her blood. Not once, but every day. Until one day, the pain stopped. The scans changed. Her cells had heard her voice. Visuals paired with breath are especially potent. Each inhale a beam of cleansing light, each exhale a stream of waste, tension, decay. Let your spine lengthen as you breathe. Let your body become a temple through which the image flows. You are not doing it wrong. You are remembering how to listen. Add music if it helps. Add words. Add silence. Create rituals. Whether in the morning sun or before sleep, return to this practice as you would a sacred well. Not because you must, but because something in you longs to reconnect with the power of inner vision. The blueprint of wholeness lives there. So now, picture it again, your body shimmering, clear, alive, each organ humming, each cell receptive. This is not imagination alone, it is creation. And with every breath, with every image, you are rebuilding the temple from the inside out, quietly, beautifully, completely. Chapter 29. Social Resonance and Longevity. The body listens not only to nutrients and breath, but to connection. You were never meant to heal in isolation. Just as the heart entrains to rhythm, the soul entrains to presence. The people you gather with are not just companions, They are co-regulators of your nervous system, your hormones, your light. There are frequencies only unlocked through closeness. A steady voice, a hand on the shoulder, a shared laugh that ripples through your chest like a drumbeat. These are more than comfort. They are medicine. The body relaxes in company it trusts. And in that relaxation, healing begins to unfold. Even your DNA listens. Studies show that meaningful relationships extend the life of telomeres, the very ends of your chromosomes which measure biological aging. It's not the number of people around you that matters. It's the quality of presence, the safety, the mutual recognition, the echo of "I see you." Rituals help this unfold. Eating together, telling stories, listening without fixing. You don't need grand gestures, just moments of full presence. Eye contact, silence, a shared breath. These are the threads that repair the invisible web we often forget we're woven into. Communities that sing together, grieve together, move together. They live longer, not because of genetics, but because of resonance. Oxytocin rises, inflammation drops, the immune system awakens. You do not have to be strong alone. Strength is born in shared humanity, in sacred belonging. Even solitude becomes richer after connection. Like exhale follows inhale, time alone is best after the heart has been reminded of its place in the whole. Touch the village, then retreat. Hear a story, then dream. The nervous system, like music, needs both sound and space to stay in tune. Forgiveness is part of this resonance, not as a performance but as a release. Carrying old wounds clogs the frequency. But speaking them, witnessing them, letting them soften in the warmth of another's compassion, that is how the signal clears. That is how the heart breathes freely again. There is a teaching from the old desert tribes. When someone is lost, circle them with song. Not advice, not judgment, just song, just presence. The body hears that harmony and remembers itself. Sometimes, what we need most is not answers, but to be circled. Let your relationships be mirrors, not masks. Let them reflect your truth and invite your joy. Choose those who steady your field, who respect your silence, who walk beside you without needing to lead. You are not meant to resonate with everyone, but you are meant to resonate fully with someone. So reach out, even gently, share a meal, write a letter, sit beside a friend in quiet. You are not a solitary note. You are part of a chord. And when your heart harmonizes with others, the body doesn't just survive. It sings itself back into youth, one connection at a time. Chapter 30. Silence and Sensory Reset. There is a medicine that cannot be bottled, only remembered. It waits behind every noise, beneath every word. Silence. Not the absence of sound, but the presence of stillness. The kind that wraps around your senses like soft cloth and invites the body to unravel, to recalibrate. Your system is constantly absorbing voices, screens, messages, alerts. Even the smallest inputs shape your chemistry. The nervous system stays braced, the mind half attentive, the heart slightly closed. But when silence enters, the gates open, the static quiets, and the signal of your own soul becomes audible again. True silence is not empty. It is full of memory. The breath becomes louder, the pulse more rhythmic. You begin to feel parts of yourself you forgot were speaking. Emotions that were whispering rise gently to the surface, not to overwhelm, but to be released, heard, honored. The brain, in stillness, performs deep work. The thalamus softens its filtering. Sensory overload unwinds, creativity returns. Ideas once buried rise like seeds cracking open. In silence, the garden begins to grow, not by doing more, but by finally doing less. Space becomes the new nourishment. Digital noise is the most cunning thief, always present, never satiated. To reclaim silence, you must choose it. A walk without headphones, a morning without scrolling, an evening without answers. These moments, though small, become gateways to the internal reset your body is begging for. Nature holds this silence without effort. The still lake, the quiet trees, the soft wind between stones. When you place yourself in this field, your field adjusts. The pulse slows. The breath deepens. The body says, "Thank you for hearing me again." And healing begins not with effort, but with listening. Some ancient monasteries observed complete silence for days, not as punishment, but purification. In the absence of speech, the inner voice grows louder. The soul surfaces. The truth that was lost in noise becomes visible, like moonlight on water once the waves go still. Sleep is a kind of silence. Meditation is another. But even pausing between thoughts or taking a deep breath before answering returns power to the moment. You are not here to react endlessly. You are here to tune into the quiet current beneath the chatter and remember what stillness can offer. This reset is not indulgent, it's essential. The immune system responds, inflammation lowers, digestion steadies, hormonal balance returns, all because the senses were no longer overwhelmed. The system had time to clear, to reboot, to remember simplicity. So today, step back, turn something off. Close your eyes not to escape, but to meet yourself again in the sacred hush. Let silence cradle your nervous system like a lullaby from the cosmos. And in that space between sounds, find the signal that never left. It was only waiting for you to listen. Chapter 31. Purpose-driven genetics. There is a force that shapes biology more than fate, intention. When the soul has direction, the cells align, not just metaphorically, but chemically. A sense of purpose sends signals through the nervous system, through gene expression, through every layer of your being. Meaning becomes medicine. Studies show that those who feel they matter, who carry a clear why, activate protective genes. Inflammatory markers drop. Resilience rises. Even immune cells behave differently. It's not the presence of ease that determines longevity, but the presence of purpose. Direction rewires the body toward life. Your DNA is a library of potential, but it needs instructions. Purpose gives those instructions shape. A deep reason for waking up each day becomes more than motivation. It becomes a molecular message. Your biology listens. It tunes to your vision like strings tuning to a song. This is not about grand goals. Even the smallest sense of meaning, caring for someone, creating beauty, speaking truth, acts like a signal flare. It tells your system, we're not done. And in response, the body extends its vitality, protects its energy, and prepares for endurance. When you feel lost, the body feels it too. It begins to slow, to guard, to decay. Not out of punishment, but confusion. The compass goes quiet, and the cells follow. But the moment you realign, even slightly, the vitality returns. Clarity of path restores coherence of function. Ancient cultures always asked, what are you here to carry? Not in burden, but in sacred responsibility. The one with the task was treated with reverence. They knew that aligned action granted strength no elixir could replace. Energy flows where legacy grows. The soul's work fuels the body's will. Create your statement. One sentence. I am here to... Let it evolve, let it breathe, but let it guide you. Purpose doesn't require perfection. It requires movement. Each step, no matter how small, sends a spark down the spine. The body responds to that fire. It calls it home. Even in sickness, this flame matters. Perhaps especially then. Healing is accelerated when the reason for living is clear. Cells lean into that direction. Organs work for that cause. Recovery becomes a vow, not to just survive, but to fulfill. Meaning gives the pain a frame, and framed pain can become power. You are not late. You are not behind. If you've wandered, that too was part of the way. Purpose is not found. It is remembered. It is uncovered, layer by layer, in the soft quiet of truth. And once remembered, it acts like gravity, drawing all systems toward it. So pause and ask, why now? Why here? Don't rush the answer. Let it emerge. Let it find you. And once it does, speak it aloud. Write it on your mirror. Walk it into your breath. Because when you live with purpose, your cells do too, and your life becomes a living code of regeneration. Chapter 32. Light as information. The sun does more than warm your skin. It speaks to your cells. Every photon that touches your body carries encoded signals, ancient messages from the cosmos that awaken, regulate, and restore. You are not separate from the light. You are designed to receive it, translate it, and be transformed by it. Morning light is a sacred reset. When it enters your eyes, it informs your brain. It's time to rise, to regulate, to renew. Cortisol rises in balance, not stress. Melatonin steps aside, waiting for its return at dusk. The whole system syncs to that golden rhythm, and the body finds its place in the day. Without it, confusion sets in. Screens blur the signal. Artificial light distorts the pulse. Sleep suffers. Hormones stumble. The body, built for the sun's dance, forgets the choreography. But even a few minutes outside, barefoot, face to the sky, can begin to restore the harmony encoded in your very core. Beyond regulation, light repairs. Infrared light, especially at sunrise and sunset, penetrates deep into tissue, signaling mitochondria to produce more energy. This isn't belief, it's biophysics. Cells bathe in that glow, wounds close faster, inflammation fades. The right light becomes a quiet surgeon. Ancient peoples knew this without needing proof. They worshipped the sun, not out of superstition, but reverence. They faced the dawn. They moved with the shadows. They built temples aligned with solstices, understanding that light was not just warmth, it was wisdom, a dialogue with divinity. Even your skin holds memory of the sun. Vitamin D synthesis is just the beginning. Light influences mood, metabolism, even the expression of hundreds of genes. Darkness has its gifts, but light delivers instruction. And when balanced, the two create a symphony your body longs to hear again. You are a photonic being. Each cell emits its own weak light, a biophoton. These emissions aren't random. They're patterned, meaningful, rhythmic. They reflect coherence or chaos, alignment or disarray. Healing often begins when this inner light returns to order, when your frequency remembers the original song. Let the sun teach you. Step into the morning barefoot. Feel the pulse under your feet and the brightness on your eyelids. Don't rush. Let your body listen. Let it sink. Let it remember that it belongs to something older, something vast. Light doesn't just hit, it enters. And when it does, you awaken. Avoid excess. Not all light is equal. Fluorescence fatigue, blue light after dark deceives. But firelight soothes, moonlight calms, candlelight restores. Know the difference. Curate your exposure. Become deliberate with the frequencies you invite, and the body will mirror that care with vitality. When your cells are fully bathed in light, from outside and within, you begin to glow, not metaphorically, but literally. Biophotonic coherence increases, and that glow, subtle, invisible to the eye but felt by others, is not just health. It is remembrance. It is your body saying, I have returned to the code. You were never broken. You were only disconnected from the rhythm, from the silence, from the light that once spoke directly to your cells. What feels like healing is often just reconnection, a returning to what was always encoded deep within. Not a reinvention, but a remembering. The body is not a machine to be fixed, but a living symphony waiting to be retuned. Every cell holds a song of vitality, of youth, of timeless renewal. When the interference fades, when noise is quieted, light is honored, breath is reclaimed, the music returns, and with it, your wholeness. You are more than flesh. You are electricity, vibration, intention, a quantum being in a biological vessel, capable of far more than you were taught. This truth was hidden not by malice, but by forgetting. But forgetting is not the end. It is the space where remembering begins. The code of eternal renewal is not locked away in laboratories. It is in your posture, in your choices, in how you sleep, how you move, how you speak to your cells with your thoughts. You are not waiting for healing. You are activating it moment by moment, with presence and permission. Let this journey continue beyond these words. Drink the morning sun. Breathe with awareness. Choose nourishment over numbness. Speak your purpose into the quiet. Walk with the knowledge that your biology responds to truth. Your cells are listening, and they are eager to rise. This is not the end of a story. It is the ignition of one. One where you are no longer a passenger, but a participant. No longer seeking youth from the outside, but expressing it from within. The code is awake now. The body remembers, and so do you. If this audiobook resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share it with someone who's ready to awaken. Click on the next audiobook appearing on your screen now. Your journey has only just begun.